Hey everybody, it's Overdrive, and today I'm here with a part 2 to my original Advanced Techniques video for this game. And the reason I'm making this second part to this video is because the original video was pretty well received, and I now have some more techniques that I am willing to show off. So it was enough to warrant a second part. So without further ado, let's get into this. So the first technique is what I'm going to call super strafing, or a super strafe. So normally in this game, when you strafe, there's a set amount of time between each strafe that you have to wait to strafe the same direction again. I can't just like spam it as fast as possible. However, you can change direction as fast as possible. So I can spam, if I alternate, I can spam different strafes. So now we can use this technique if I hit the left and then the right, like a frame after, I can mash extremely hard and basically get sort of a boost. It's extremely difficult to do, and it might seem like I'm using some sort of program or something to do that, but I can assure you I'm not. It is extremely difficult to do, and honestly is not that useful. I can't even do it going the other direction because I'm not really good with the timing for that. But literally what you're doing is you're strafing left, but then right immediately after, left, and then right immediately after. So basically you're just going right. So you can see there, sometimes you can see the lefts coming out like right there, but I'm just following up the lefts immediately with rights. And again, it's barely useful. I don't really think it's useful in speedruns or anything, but I can assure you that is one heck of an advanced technique in this game. Again, not very useful, but it is definitely interesting to see that it is something that can be done. So this next technique that I'm going to show off is something that I'm going to call jet jumping, or a jet jump. It is basically where you fly off a ramp and in midair you use the jet boosters while angling your car upwards so that you give yourself a little bit of an extra jump in midair. So let's see if I can show this off properly. Kinda. That's kinda what I'm looking for, but it definitely wasn't a super good example of that. So let's see if I can get a better example. See, that was a good example. That was a good example. I probably wouldn't have made it, but using the jet boosters with your car facing up like this, and then using it while flying with that specific velocity in midair will give you just a bit of an extra jump in midair. And the reason I'm showing that off at this specific ramp is because this technique is and actually can be used in speedruns, because in the New Game Plus Any Percent and New Game Plus Any Percent Cheats categories, and maybe another category I'm forgetting, we basically fly off this ramp now as a new shortcut, and you can, like I just demonstrated, you can get to that upper level just by going off this ramp, which is not something that was thought to be possible previously. What I used to do is I used to just jump off the ramp, land on the mountain, and climb up the mountain. Or I would just skip the ramp entirely and then just climb up the mountain. But now we know you can fly off that blue ramp, and with just the right speed and maybe with the assistance of a jet jump, you can land on this upper road and it is much faster. So this is actually a useful technique that you can keep in mind, possibly for other areas in the game as well. Okay, so this is what I'm going to call indefinite stunting, or an indefinite stunt, and I'm using the Surf and School Bus for this because it's actually extremely good at doing this technique, surprisingly. So let's see if I can do this correctly here. Yep. See, there we go. Okay, so I was able to get 670 stunt points off of a stunt that probably should have been like 200 or something around there. I basically extended the stunt a ton and got way more points than I should have. And let me just demonstrate this one more time. Basically, you're pressing down and up, you're alternating just to get your car facing as straight up as possible. Again, there I got about 600 points. I could probably get even more if I did this better, but As you can see, this actually can be useful, but it's really weird with like other cars and harder to do, so that's why I'm using the Surf and School Bus. Your biggest enemy with this trick is the camera, because that will definitely mess you up pretty easily. Let's see if I can get a good one right here. Oh, okay, so that was about 470. Yeah, so it actually can be kind of useful, and an example of one other car that works with this pretty well is Shadowjet. But other than that, I can't think of another car that is easy to do this with. Again, it might be possible with other cars, just not very easy. Surf and School Bus is just good as an example. Alright, so for this next technique, I'm going to be showing out-of-bounds movement tips. So with the jet boosters and quantum annihilator, you can alter your movement out of bounds, and I will try and show that off. So I gotta get out of bounds. And jet boosters, of course, you can get an extreme boost forward, and that can help with doing like the mission 6 skip and stuff like that. Now I'm going to show with the quantum annihilator what you can do. If you get out of bounds, then you can use the quantum annihilator to push yourself backwards. So pretty much the opposite effect of the jet boosters, and you'll see when this explodes, that also pushes me back because the explosion actually has an effect on your own car in terms of having pushback, so a pushback effect. And now I'm just kind of flying up here, and yeah, now I'm out and I hit the respawn plane to respawn back at the city, as in the mission 6 skip. So yeah, you can use the jet boosters to go forward, and you can use the quantum annihilator to move backwards, usually. Although the jet boosters is far more consistent going forwards than the quantum annihilator is at going backwards. The last weapon that you can use to move out of bounds is the Ripper Wheels. However, this one is kind of a wild card, as when you get out of bounds, it just kind of does random stuff and behaves weirdly. So there, it kind of sent me in a direction I probably wouldn't have gone. It like sent me straight up and at an angle. Again, the Ripper Wheels is just kind of the wild card. Right there, it pushed me into the wall more. Also, now I'm going to spam boost to go forward. And now I'm going down. And yeah, ended up at the respawn plane as expected. But yeah, again, Ripper Wheels, it just kind of does random stuff, and whereas the quantum annihilator and jet boosters are more defined with what they're going to do when you use them. Those are all the techniques that I have for this video, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and maybe eventually one day there will be a part 3 to this if I can gather enough techniques to throw together in one video for you guys to see. But as it stands, we got a part 1 with maybe 5 or more techniques, and this video had about like 4 or 5 techniques. So yeah, if you haven't seen the original video, you can check that out too, and I will leave a link to the original in the description. So thank you for watching, and I will see you some other time.